Okay, so I wasn't initially going to make this video as I just wanted to relax, but you know what, let's do this. I'm just a weird man on the internet sharing my trading 212 portfolio and my opinions about the whole crash situation. So let's go straight into showing you what my portfolio is today. As you can see, pretty bad again, down today by 3.6% and just over the past 24 hours down by £3,702. The worst of it was about midday, as you can see, down by 5.7%. Loss of £5,796. Just as a quick calibration, if you haven't seen these videos before, I was at £116,000 in February, and this was all cash, so this was actually realized profit. And then I decided to put all my money into the stock market. The reason why I was all in cash was actually not to do with, timing the market, although a little bit of that might have been that. But the main reason was something completely not related to investing, something to do with my personal life. And today it's worth £96,921. And like I said, I'm just a guy on the internet talking about finance, not financial advice, by the way. I, however, do love using Trading 212. And if you would like to sign up to Trading 212 and receive a free fractional share worth up to £100, all you have to do is to click the link in the description box down below. Or if you've already signed up to Trading 212 in the past 10 days but have not received a free fractional share, all you have to do is to click the 3 horizontal line menu over here. Scroll all the way down until you see the section use promo code. And in this section, just use my code JUBAIR and you should receive a free fractional share. Now, yeah, it looks bad today, doesn't it? But the thing is that the London Stock Exchange closes at 4:30 p.m. and so much has happened after that. Like I said, I was just going to skip today and have a day off. Not a day off. I'm a full-time content creator. I have to do other things. But I was going to take a day off. Things were looking bad, but they have been bad over the past 3 days anyway. As you can see, this is my biggest holding in the iShares Core S&P 500. I invested it basically at the top of the market. Big regrets, but what can you do? On the 24th of February, as the markets were dipping down a bit, I thought, you know what, this is a good opportunity. Wasn't really caring about the news. I think the tariffs were just being mentioned, but yeah, it turns out to be, these tariffs have had a huge effect on the stock market value. But you can see since investing about 5 to 6 weeks, I don't, do the calculations off the top of my head, but down by 17.29%. And that is a loss of nearly £20,000. Now, I also have done a series on this channel, £100 per day. Not really many people were interested in that, but that was in the the EQQQ. And although I've invested into this for 30 days, as you can see, basically stopped depositing right here. But you can see since then, it is down so much. It is down by 16.24%, even though I basically pound cost averaged every single day. And actually, if you watch those videos, you can see that by doing the daily investments, I actually reduced my average buying price quite nicely and kind of weathered the storm that was, the decline of the stock market. But the worst of the stock market, or the beginning of the worst, has definitely been shown after that. And as you can see, I'm down by £487. So the Nasdaq 100, the Invesco one anyway, is down by 21%. So this is a full-scale stock market crash. Now, as we speak, we can see that the S&P 500 is making a turnaround. Although this can be temporary. If you watched my daily videos this week, you can see one day I'm saying the S&P 500 is up by 9% and the next is down. So I'm not by any means giving you any sort of projection or anything like that. I'm just giving you my opinions of the situation pretty live. Going to publish this today. I'm so glad that I am my own editor because no one would want to be working under these conditions. But you can see this huge decline, basically from 5,000 points to 5,400-ish. And if you have been following my other social media channels, which I'm not telling you to do anyway, by the way, you would know that I've been very outspoken about people who say this time it's different. Just wait until the bottom, just wait until there is a green light. You know what? The green light, you're not going to get a green light. And if there is any green light, today's news is a massive green light. And see, look what has happened. When are you going to be able to, if there is a green light, react to it? If you were one of those people who were very adamant in selling off all of their holdings so that they can buy cheaper, you just basically miss 8%. Like I said, it can turn around, it can go down another 20-30%, but I'm just saying I would not be one of those people. Now, the green light that investors have been looking for well, I would say this is more of an amber light or a, dark green or light green, whatever you want to say it, is because the president of the United States of America, I'm not going to say his name, pauses these higher tariffs for dozens of countries, but hikes China's tariffs to 125%. In my opinion, this pause has given investors and the rest of the world basically a lot of hope that there can be ongoing negotiations for these tariffs, because frankly, even a 10-20% tariff is, detrimental to trade around the world. I'm not sure what the play here is. There are many conspiracy theories about why this is happening. I am not a conspiracy theory channel. But anyway, the president has announced a 90-day pause, and that's why the markets have reacted so, positively. However, the lingering issue or issues have not been, dealt with yet. And that is, of course, the fact that China is retaliating to these tariffs. They do not like this. I mean, why would you like these tariffs? Why would you want to pay, what was it first, 34% for no reason? It doesn't make any sense. It does definitely, in my opinion, destroy trade around the world. Of course, there may be other things at play, but I can only speculate. Basically, this is a full-on trade war between the two largest economies in the world, the United States of America and China. If this continues, of course, nothing good is going to come off it. But then again, I'm not a news channel now, am I? So as normal, during these periods, there is going to be a lot of volatility. We could be seeing a crash or whatever. I'm not, giving any sort of projections. Like I said before, we're going to see severe volatility. And I don't think we're going to see any sort of full recovery anytime soon, because like I said, the lingering issue is still there. The tariffs are still being placed on China, and a 90-day pause is only a 90-day pause. Investors are forward looking. They do want to see a more of a permanent solution. So the Nasdaq 100 has reacted incredibly positively to this news, up by nearly 10%. At one point, it would have been 10%. So it's really good for the Nasdaq, I guess. So when the UK markets open tomorrow, as long as, the S&P 500 continues its upward momentum, we could be seeing my portfolio definitely going above £100,000 again, and, some of these stocks recovering. However, like I said, anything could happen. I'm not telling anyone what's going to happen. As long-term investors, this is just another bit of noise. A lot of people will tell you this time is different, this time is different. But realistically, they've always said that. And, magically out of the woodwork, a lot of experts are being made during this bear market where, a lot of people have been saying that they told you so. You're going to hear all of this. Ultimately, if everyone sells their stocks, the stock market is going to go down. That's just how supply and demand and basic economics works. So make sure to check out some of my other videos. Consider subscribing. I never actually say that. And I'll see you in the next video.